Okay, so for some reason I can't copy and paste the text, so I'm just going to share, and that'll have to do.
That's fine.
So this is to a dude named Andy. I found his Twitter, and I'm trying to, I don't know, I always try to find something personal, or I'll just shut up and let you guys read it for a second.
All right, I'll read it. Hey, Andy, as someone who has to juggle both sales reps and kids via APA Cloud, I'm sure you can appreciate the similarity between reps and kids. Both can be frustrating and tiresome, but at the end of the day, you want to be set up for success and hit their number. Well, maybe just the reps on the last one. More importantly, with your recent partnership with Financial Force to assist service companies as well as the new office in Portugal, it's clear that Aperio is looking to not only break into new verticals, but new geographies as well. So how do you ensure success for your sales reps across the board as you're forward in these initiatives? Gong helps sales leaders like yourself get visibility into what's actually happening in their reps' day-to-day conversations and pipelines to surface insights around rapid changes in their organization to fuel informed decisions, how to maximize what pipeline they bring in new logos more effectively, or isolate top messaging, zoom here, top messaging and motions from reps to deploy it to the rest of their team. Is this worth setting aside a few minutes to unpack a little later this week? Okay. Yeah. Definitely the cut in half principle must apply here. My very first thought is I feel like the template that you're following of, hey, Andy, context specific to you, research that I've done on you, tying that back into Gong is good. But I mean, I think that this would literally just be a fire email if you just rewrote it with 50% fewer words. That's the biggest thing that strikes out to me. What about you guys? It might be helpful to think about what could be eliminated.
I think
my first instinct is to eliminate Gong.
That's interesting. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I find that like completely you-focused emails work, and because we're using email, if they want to figure out what Gong is, they could just click on your signature. So that you're wasting real estate in the email by explaining it.
So, wait. So you're suggesting, like, are you suggesting no value prop, or how would I change this value prop?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting. You have a question in there that's an elimination question. Your eyes just went wide. That's funny.
I was curious because I asked, should I eliminate it or rephrase it, and you said yes. So I was like, oh, I don't.
Eliminate.
Eliminate. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I would get rid of it, and I would at least test that because I ran a prospecting campaign recently where I didn't mention what we did at all in any of them, and I got a very high booking rate on it, and it started a lot of conversations. And they would often just be like, oh, because like I'm connected to you on LinkedIn and you post on LinkedIn all the time, and like I went to your website, I saw what you did, and they can just come back and be like, hey, we can set up a meeting, or yeah, that is relevant. And keeping the same pretty much structure, the rest of it, I really like. I love the opening. It made me smile.
So you think maybe eliminate this part and then maybe take this onto its own line and just use the question as posing. So it's clear you're trying to expand into new geographies as well, and then maybe rephrase that as well and be like, how are you ensuring success for your sales reps across the board as you double down on these initiatives? And if there's no, I don't know, because then I don't want to like ask for time right after that, because I feel like the flow on that's a little weird. If I go, how are you ensuring success? I don't know. Is it worth setting aside a few minutes? Oh, what are your thoughts on like the close and the ask on that then?
I would do like a really low friction ask, like open to learning more, or I imagine this isn't relevant at all, or is this relevant at all to you? Or even just ending on the illumination question and restructuring it that way. I had a lot of success with that, just like, how are you currently doing X? And they would just respond. I don't know why. They would just say, I'm doing it this way. And that would be their whole email. And then their cell phones and their signatures, I just call them. Like, hey, John, I saw you responded with this. How are you liking that so far?
Okay, interesting. I've never thought
to open the dialogue.
Yeah, I'm open to trying it. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for the feedback on that, Patrick.
Of course, man. I really like that opening, by the way. It legit made me laugh.
Thanks. Yeah, I try to be as cute as I can when writing emails.
So fucking cute.
Also, just a pro tip, guys. If you're going to mention their kids or you're going to mention their hobbies, they might get a little creeped out as to where you found it. So I always say, like, at your Twitter handle, like it's, connected to your LinkedIn or whatever. It's I just try to mention maybe where I found it so they're not creeped out.
Don't put their home address or something. Is that what you're saying?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. We're doing a mailing campaign where we're like sifting through people's like property tax records that are all public and like finding their addresses and using like white pages, so we can find their home addresses right now. It's been pretty intense.
What do you think of the length then? Because if I was keeping a traditional, format of like straight to the point, like context specific, and then launching into the value prop and then making the tiny ask, I would want to cut it down because I feel like I would be at risk of losing their attention. But under this different strategy, is it okay for it to be long?
Emails are long as fuck. They just have to be engaging. You have to like write it like you're like a comedy writer. You have to punch everything up, because if it's just wasted space, then they're gonna just click off and archive it.
Yeah, Casey McGough is a friend of mine in sales, and he has this quote, something like, the email can be as long as it needs to be, but every single sentence, there has to be a reason to read the next one. And I think this actually does a pretty good job at that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. I really like
Marcus,
it.
one really specific critique I have is that the section that starts with Gong helps sales leaders like yourself to get visibility.
Yes.
I would try and break that up into a few sentences. It's just a really long breath. And even specifically the area that is bold-faced, that's outlining your value prop. Maybe even just cut that down into simpler language, or just that line in general. It's just like, it really runs on.
That's fair. Yeah.
So maybe you could say Gong helps sales leaders like yourself to get visibility into what's actually happening in their reps' day-to-day conversations and pipelines, period.
Okay.
If you want to surface insights around rapid, like, and start it again there, like kind of take a breath.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess that's just the basics of avoiding a run-on sentence. Yeah, and that's something. Definitely try split testing, like just cutting that entirely, and then using how do you ensure success for your reps across the board as you double down on these initiatives, and then he's just going to respond apparently, which would be amazing.
We'll try it. I might not have enough or have Patrick's level of charisma to get those replies, but I'll give it a shot.
Fuck you, man. You're full of charisma.
All right. Does anybody else have any more critiques, or should I stop sharing?
What's your subject line?
What is it? Hold on. Let me
Too long?
I wish it was actually too long.
It's wrangling kids and sales reps. He opened it. So, I try to keep them short. I try to keep it vague, but like related to the email. Like there was a guy that his LinkedIn photo is him like holding 2 beers, and then there was like a third person with their arm there. And the subject line I sent was something like, or this was today, was like triple fisting beers on the sales team or something. It's set out to send tomorrow, but I'm fairly certain he'll open it. It helps to stand out.